So when people talk about Israel has a right to defend itself from the sick, defend itself from the infirm, defend itself from what? As somebody who is dealing with a chronic illness, as somebody that is that had dealt with, uh, being in intensive care unit multiple times, who have been in the hospital multiple times. I was in the hospital before the transplant. I was in hospital for 17 days back in February. I want you to think that if you're in the hospital trying to recover, trying to get better, and then you suffer even further trauma by being bombed, how is that Israel defending itself? So, of course, the settler colonial state, also known as Israel, decided to attack another hospital. And this time, this hospital is in North Gaza. Let's get into this and just share. This has been just another part of the 21st century Holocaust that we are seeing as of right now. So let's go into this. It's a Middle East Monitor. It says Israel bulldozes demolished wall of Indonesian hospital in northern Gaza. So it shows that people, Palestinians, mourning the deceased. It says Israeli bulldozers demolished the northern wall of an Indonesian hospital in northern Gaza today, according to RT's Arabic correspondent in the besieged enclave. The Director General of Ministry of Health in Gaza stated that the occupation targeted the health system by bombing hospitals and patients. He added that Israeli occupation forces opened fire on the intensive care unit of the Indonesian hospital. Let's stop there for a second. This is how you know the entity that's going against you is wicked and cruel, because they're literally attacking the ICU. What did they do? What did they do to you? People who are the sickest of the sick in the intensive care unit. You decide to bomb the ICU? Is this Israel defending itself? Doesn't seem like it to me. Seems like Israel really is just trying to exterminate the population, starting off with the sickest among us. Peep game and pay close attention to how they treat people in that region. Let's continue. It says occupation aircraft targeted a patient inside the Indonesian hospital. The Director General, who also expressed hope that aid, including food and medicines, would soon be allowed in Gaza soon. Earlier today, several Palestinians were killed and injured in an Israeli strike on a tent sheltering displaced persons in Al Yarmouk area of central Gaza. Airstrikes are also targeted in eastern Abasan al-Kabira, east of Khan Yunis, where the home of Abu Tir family was struck, resulting in multiple injuries. Meanwhile, Palestinian media outlets reported that Israeli aircraft struck a house near a Jordanian field hospital west of Khan Yunis. So when people talk about Israel has a right to defend itself from the sick, defend itself from the infirm, defend itself from what? As somebody who is dealing with a chronic illness, as somebody that is that had dealt with, uh, being in intensive care unit multiple times, who have been in the hospital multiple times. I was in the hospital before the transplant. I was in hospital for 17 days back in February. I want you to think that if you're in the hospital trying to recover, trying to get better, and then you suffer even further trauma by being bombed, how is that Israel defending itself? That's not. That is a sick and twisted move, because really extermination is the goal. People can say whatever they want, but their actions speak louder than their words. What's going on right now in Palestine is unconscionable. There are people who are starving right now, which is another way of ethnically cleansing, exterminating the population so that they can move in and take the rest of the land over. Let's just take a look at this headline. This is from Rania Khalek of Breakthrough News. She said Israel is about to murder 14,000 babies, and people still won't call it a genocide. Bernie Sanders. Look at this. It says, first thing, the UN says 14,000 babies could die in Gaza in the next 48 hours under Israeli aid blockade. It says UK, France, and Canada warn Israel of action if egregious conduct in Gaza continues, plus Trump and Putin discuss Ukraine. I want to humanize this, because a lot of times the Zionists will dehumanize the people here. I want to humanize them as being part of a marginalized group. One of the goals that fascists typically do is they dehumanize marginalized people in order for you to look down upon them, to be okay, to co-sign, to manufacture consent for their destruction. This happens to Palestinians. This happens to immigrants. This happens to LGBTQ people. This happens to Black people. This happens to disabled people, where we are demonized and told by the powers that be that we are unhuman, we're worthless. So therefore, feeling bad about their plight, it shouldn't really affect you, because there are these evil people among them. Meanwhile, the real evil people are the ones that are starving, blocking aid from coming in. 14,000 babies. And you wonder who's on the right side of history? Palestine has a right to defend itself. Full stop. Palestine has a right to defend itself. And I don't care if you're going to go, oh my God, but Hamas. Let me tell you something, baby. If you are occupying the land of somebody else, the people who are being occupied have a right to defend themselves by international law. Go ahead, look it up. Cry to your big bone mama. I don't care. All right. But this right here should not be happening. It should not. And this is happening in so many different places around the world, all because of imperialism, settler colonialism, neocolonialism, and fueled by capitalism, that this keeps happening. And so when we talk about building mutual aid, building dual power, fighting against this system, that also means helping people like the Palestinians out, the people in Congo, Sudan, Haiti. It means helping out Black Americans that are still suffering in this country. We've been suffering in this country for over 400 years. And the minute we want recompense and restitution for the suffering that we have gone through, people want to get their tidy whities in a bunch and go, oh my God, you guys want reparations. You guys shouldn't get that. This is why solidarity is so important among many different types of groups, because that solidarity can save us all. But we have to see ourselves in each other. What if that was your loved one in the hospital? What if that was your kid starving? What if that was your niece, your nephew, your little brother, little sister, little sibling? Would you stand for that? I'm willing to bet a bunch of y'all would probably take up arms to fight that entity too. This is why this system has to end. Because bombing hospitals, starving people, and they just had the anniversary, the 77th anniversary of the Nakba. It's crazy. There should not be a 78th year. Like always, free Palestine from the river to the sea. Thank you so very much for watching my channel, and I deeply appreciate it from the top and bottom of my heart. If you wish to support the channel further, so I can keep bringing you content that is educational and informative, you can become a patron on patreon.com/Jaybefaunt. You can find that link in the pinned comment or in the description below. No matter what you give, you'll be supporting independent media and education that helps make the world better. Thank you so much, and you can watch more of my content here. Mwah. Forehead kisses, and have a beautiful day.